What's up, Sagittarius? Welcome to your November tarot reading. Shout out to all of my Sagittarius babies whose birthday is in November, okay? So shout out to all the November Sages. So let's go ahead and get started, all right? So obviously we are going to be in the majority of Scorpio season, which goes along with your focus, which is water, okay? Now, we all know Scorpio is a water sign. It is the coldest and iciest part of water. It's the deepest part of water, okay? So maybe you're going to be going through some breakthroughs before your season comes about. Hopefully, you're going through it before your season and not during your season, because nobody wants to be sad around their birthday, okay? So let's go ahead and see what's happening. Now, you may not be going through anything sad, but I'm just saying. Usually with Scorpio season, it brings up a lot of things that people have been suppressing. So let's just go ahead and see what's happening for November 1st through the 10th for Sagittarius. Oh, I'm seeing emotions. I'm actually feeling really good about this reading before I even started it. Like, I feel like you are in a happy emotional state, kind of bubbly, okay? I feel like your mind is revolving around emotions and relations and just good things, good things. All right, here we go. Okay. I like this, Sag. I knew it. Okay, so we have love here with the Ace of Cups. I'm seeing that you're having a whole new perspective on how you're viewing love, how you're, like, you know, viewing your relationships in your life, and just feeling really bubbly, like feeling really happy. It's almost like you're taking or making toast to yourself and this other person in your life, and it just looks really good. Like, you look really, really stable right now. Okay, beautiful. I love how we're starting this off. All right, so you're talking to people, you're getting back out there as far as being friendly. I think that you've done a lot of work internally in your past, in your recent past. I'm also seeing with the Prince of Cups in reverse, you're definitely being more open, which means that you are back to yourself, because I feel like there was a moment where Sag was kind of going through this real, like, leave me alone, I don't want to talk to anybody, which is really cold. And Sag, you're known for being warm, you know? And so I feel like you're being very open now. So you're actually the opposite of what Scorpio is right now, which is cold. And so, yeah, you're not being too private. You're being open to people. I really, really like this. And then we have the Devil card. Now, we know the Devil card, it sounds like a really bad card. But in this situation, I feel like you've, instead of being chained to negative things, you're chained to happiness. Like, you're chained to the thought that things can be good if you make them good, if you allow yourself to truly be happy, or if you allow yourself to truly, like, be focused on the positive aspects of things. And I really like this. Like, you're really, what's the word that I'm looking for? You're connected to that theory of what happiness can be if you create it for yourself. And that's really, really nice. So let's just go ahead and see what else is happening for you. I think that there is someone around you that's making you very happy, but I also see with the Star card in reverse behind that, you've done a lot of work internally, and you've been doing a lot of, like, you know, soul searching, and you've been figuring yourself out. And I love that. I love that. Let's see what this double energy here is for. All right, we got Justice. All right, so I do think that there were some things that happened and went down during Libra season that really had you, you know, kind of figure out what you wanted, like what's going to make your life feel balanced. And with you doing that, finding your balance internally, you know, inevitably made you be more balanced on the outside. And I think it's showing up. Like, I think people are also seeing this. And I mean, what can I say? Like, this is beautiful. This is really nice. Six of Swords. Yeah, you've definitely transitioned. You've moved to a different mind state. You've moved to a different, you know, just way of being. Like, your character has just improved. And I think it all took you changing your mind, like how you think, how you, you know, how you logically dissect everything, how you analyze everything. Like, you are starting to see your mind has a lot of power to dictate how you actually, you know, view other things, or how you, your perspective of other things. So you may actually have, you know, certain planets within your chart that are debilitating because they are air, and maybe you have to learn what those planets are and, like, how it works with your psyche. And now that you've kind of, like, dug deep and done that, you've done the work, and now you're able to really enjoy being balanced. And that's what it's all about, especially with you being a mutable sign. You could be, like, back and forth, but you're, like, finding what that balance is, and you're learning how to do that on your own. Let's see who's a part of this, if there's anyone a part of the beginning of your November. All right, so I'm seeing a Gemini could be a part of the mix. Gemini. I also feel like you reconciled with someone or something within yourself. Like you fixed something. You had a resolution that came about from something. All right, Sag, you're showing up as domination, okay? So you're taking charge. I think instead of being in denial or, being less than mature and taking responsibility for the things and the actions that you have taken in the past, you've owned up to that, and now, like, nobody can stop you. Like, you have a whole new way of, like, taking action towards things and just being a better person in general. And people are seeing you as positive and powerful and just, really owning yourself. And I think that's what, matters the most. It's like people see that you are like, you're grown. It's like instead of just being like, of age or whatever, you're grown now. Like you are really starting to become a woman or become a man in your own right. Like really being responsible for who you are. And that's, that's something to be applauded, like honestly speaking. Okay. So there's been a lot of healing that you've been doing. That's what this water energy is for. Healing. All right, Sag, I'm scared of you. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the middle of your November. All right, Sag, so the middle of your November is the 11th through the 20th. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, right off the bat. All right, we got the Temperance in reverse here. So with Temperance in reverse, I feel like there's something that you're having trouble making a decision on, like you're going back and forth. You may be a little careless about something as well. And I think this is because you're nervous. You're extremely nervous about something. And I think that you haven't really taken the time to just allow yourself to really, think about what could happen if so-and-so went on, or what would happen if so-and-so didn't happen. It's almost like you're running away from something and it's causing you to miss points or to be a little careless or to not make any movements to fix whatever you feel like is going to go wrong with all of this anxiety. So with the Magician's card in reverse, it makes perfect sense why this is showing up. You're not taking your own power to make something happen the way that it needs to go. So for example, if you're nervous that you are going to fail a test or something like that, the way that you would fix that is to study for it or to prepare yourself for it. And so that happens in any situation when it comes to anxiety. In order to get through an anxious moment or whatever, you have to realize what anxiety is, and two, like, make more rational thoughts from it instead of just like allowing it to fester and grow bigger and bigger. And I feel like that's kind of what you're doing in the middle of your November. So this isn't terrible because this is something you can actually control, or at least you have more control than you're allowing yourself to know that you have. We also have the 8 of Swords here. So there's reconciliation that needs to be had. There's something that still needs to be mended, okay? And there's something that you need to confront, quite frankly. 10 of Cups, it could have something to do with your family or someone in your family. There's also commitments or promises that have not been held. And I feel like there's something that needs to be discussed in that regard. So let's get a little bit deeper and see what you're running from. Because now I see that you're afraid to, you've done all this work, but now you're like running from something that needs to be confronted. King of Cups. Okay, it could have something to do with a Cancer, or it could also have something to do with your emotions. Like maybe you're getting afraid to see something from a new perspective. Like for example, if you are getting cool with someone, or if you're allowing a family member that you were estranged from in your past, if you're allowing them to come back in your life and you're like, okay, I'm a new person, maybe they can be a new person. I feel like this is how it started. And then you're like, but damn, like, I don't know how to have that conversation. Like, I know how to deal with myself, but how do I have a conversation to really mend and heal wounds, emotional wounds, with this person who may not even be, mature enough to have this conversation? So I kind of feel like it's not you, Sag, it's more of them. But if you're the one who has made the steps to, become recovered or to become more mature, then you have to really go through with that and just trust that you yourself know how to dictate yourself. And if the other person doesn't, then it's their loss. So I actually feel like this is something that can actually be done correctly if given the chance. Okay. So what are you afraid that's going to happen? Okay, so we have the 4 of Wands here and we have the 8 of Pentacles. I think you're afraid of the work it's going to take to really analyze maybe some issues that happened in your home life, whether it's present or in your distant past. I also feel like there is marriage that may be talked about, or maybe someone's marriage that affected your life. I'm also seeing that there's going to have to be an actual talk with what happened in your past, like when you were a child compared to now and how it affects you. And I think you've kind of created this wall, or this, not a wall, but you've created a place where your heart feels safe. And to have this discussion and really analyze everything that has happened with this other person, it kind of makes you feel vulnerable. Kind of like, I don't want you invading that space. Like, it's private, it's sacred. And it's kind of like, you need to do this so that you can feel whole and closed, but you are afraid to do this because you feel like if it goes wrong, then everything's going to fall. And I don't think that's how it's going to be. I really don't. I think that you just have to give it a shot. And this, conversation or this confrontation is really going to dictate, if this person should or should not be in your life, like, period. And that, if anything, is something that can make you feel whole. I kind of feel like your world kind of gets flipped upside down when you're around this person. Kind of like they keep you on your toes. Yeah, because you have to talk about something that you're not really ready to, or you're in denial about, or it's something that nobody talks about. So let's say this is about your family. Nobody talks about the situation. Nobody gets to the root of it. And you're the person who's finally now bold enough to do so. And it's coming towards you. And now you're like, shit, like, am I really doing this? Am I really going to do this? Okay. Strength. Yeah, Sag, you got this though. Like, you really do have this. You've already mastered yourself, and that's one of the biggest, journeys that people have. And you as Sag, you know that wisdom comes from going through experiences, and this is what you're going to have to just, live with. I think that you have more power to show people how to access that than you realize. And it is scary. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be nervous about it, but you have the gift to actually, like, make people feel comfortable when things are uncomfortable. You understand? So I think you actually just need to kind of just go head first with it and just go. Like, just try to make it happen. I do want to see... okay. So I wanted to see, like, what can you do to actually access the internal power to make this happen and to work out in the best way that it possibly can? Because I feel like it is falling on you to be, like, the leader of all of this. But we got the King of Cups, which is also kind of like right here. The King of Cups. So you just got to find a place where you feel safe. Maybe try to do things on your own terms. Meet up somewhere where you feel, comfortable. And then you just got to, like, go for it. You just got to do it. You got to step out there, be independent with your thoughts, your words, your feelings. And if that person doesn't, meet you halfway, it's their loss, because you have to know that you are the bigger person for doing this. And I don't just mean like bigger person, like you did the right thing, but the bigger person because you are wise enough to know, certain things have to be talked through. Like, certain things can't just be bottled up forever. And if it doesn't work out, whatever, you can pour the cup out and it is what it is. Like, that's it. But I just feel like you have to give yourself that try, that chance. Like, you can't just allow it to not happen. Let me see who's a part of this situation with you. All right. We have a Leo showing up. We also have Jupiter energy here, so it could be a Pisces or a Sag that's also a part of this. All right. Let's see how you're showing up and how they're showing up. Equilibrium. So you're balanced. Your head is on straight. You know how this can go. You also know how to be relatable in the situation so that it doesn't just seem like you're going all in or they're going all in. You're finding a way to balance it out so that the conversation can be had productively, but also have a conducive outcome to a positive situation. Son of Fire. So this person is a little on edge. I think that they're a little antsy, but I do think that they're very open to starting a new way of being when it comes to you or interacting with you, okay? So I do think that you are definitely more level-headed and calm than this person, but this other person is willing to put in the work. So that's what matters the most, okay? So let's go ahead and move on to the end of your November. The end of November is the 21st through the 30th. All right, bottom of the deck, we have the Tower. Now, interestingly enough, I feel like the Tower in this situation is a good thing. I feel like you are breaking down barriers, okay? Judgment in reverse, okay? So, there is something major that's going to be happening for you in the end of November. I think it is going to take down how everything has been in the past, and it's going to really force you to kind of see things in a new way because you are in a whole new setting. Okay, now we have the Temperance card here. This is beautiful. This Temperance energy means that you're actually balanced. You're being very you know, like in tune with everything that's happening around you. I think that you're being very comfortable with control, but like control of yourself, like self-control. It's like you're being quiet, or you're just really good at being balanced in the moment, if that makes any sense. I feel like it's someone who is very sound, like a sound mind. And they realize like what all of this is supposed to be. Like they figured out their balance. That's what this is. Four of Swords in reverse. You're having the conversation at the end of November. So you've kind of psyched yourself up for whatever this was supposed to be. And you've hit that mark where you're like, you know what? It's do or die. It's time to do this. I'm just going to go calm and I'm going to go for it. I'm going to spill my heart out to this person. We're going to be authentic. And it's going to go the way that it needs to go. You have the conversation. And then we have the King of Pentacles in reverse here. After having the conversation, I feel like this other person, you know, sadly is going to be greedy or not cooperating or corrupt, or kind of like if you're having a conversation and all you want is an apology. This person is like, I'm sorry for whatever you feel like I did. It's like they don't really want to own up to it, or they want to say, well, you had a lot to play in it too. You did a lot of things too. And it never really gets to that point where you have that moment that you were looking for. But I feel like this still it's a very healing moment. It's an eye-opening moment for you to realize some people just are not on the same level as you when it comes to maturity or just emotional release. And it may hurt a little bit, or not even hurt, but it may surprise you. But I feel like you kind of saw it coming anyways. But it's like, as long as you played your cards right, as far as like going through the way that you said you would, not losing your composure and all of that, I think it'll actually be something that you're proud of, a moment that you can feel proud of. So let me go ahead and see what the conversation is going to be about. The Sun. Okay, so it could be about your children. It could be about, you know, how you wanted things to be, how you would like things to be. It could be a very joyous communication, you know, a very good, happy thing. It's just kind of like, I don't think that this person is ready to own up. So let's see why this person is being the way they are. Because I feel like you're being very balanced. I do. Knight of Cups. They're not ready. They're simply not ready. They think that they know what love is or what communication is when it comes to feelings, but they don't really know. They haven't made it that far. It's kind of like someone who, let's say they're a player or they're young, and they tell this person that they love them, and they do love them, but then they see someone that looks better and they're like, oh shit, I'm done with this situation. Like, I'm breaking up with you. And it's like, it was short-lived. It was cute. It was fun. It was quirky or whatever. But then as soon as something bigger or better comes along, that person is quick to dash to it. And it's just because they're not mature yet. They haven't gotten to the stage of learning what love is for self or for another person. And you cannot love another person without loving yourself. And I think this is definitely what this is all about, what's happening with this. Let's see more about this conversation. What does it reveal for you? Okay, so it reveals a lot. So the first thing I'm seeing with the Seven of Pentacles here, it reveals what it means to really invest time into something and to really put effort into something and to give your all to something. So you know what this is. You know what you've given to the situation, which is why you gave it a shot in the first place to reconcile. It also reveals what you deem as, you know, real love, or just like, not just love when it comes to like, you know, romance, but like actual love as in loyalty and being there for people and family, like what all of that means to you. It changes your perspective on that. And then we also have the Eight of Pentacles. So again, with that time and investing and really just analyzing everything that has been done through a span of time that you've known this person, or even you being a young child or whatever, and learning what love is from a young age and trying to replicate that or duplicate it as you get older. You realize what things were toxic about that or what things were good about that. So it's almost like this conversation involved you and someone else, but it really was a coming to age moment for you. This other person, I don't even feel like they're on your level when it comes to just, you know, growing. Not to say that they will never be, but at this point, I don't think they are. And it kind of is a moment that just kind of makes you look at things and be refreshed and be kind of like, okay, this is where we're at. This is what it is. And it is what it is. Like, you can only, you can lead a horse to water, but they have to drink it. And I feel like that's one of those moments that this is. So let's go ahead and see who could be a part of the situation. All right, so I'm seeing an Aries here, or the Emperor. So this could be a conversation with your father, or this could also be a conversation with someone who had a lot of authority within your life and someone you looked up to at one point. Okay. They could have also put a lot of fear in you growing up, or just in their situation in general. So you're showing up as love. Like, you figured out what love is, honestly. Like, you really have become just like a butterfly. Like, I know that sounds corny, but like, you've really grown into yourself, and you learned like what it is to truly love, what it is to show someone that you actually love them. And you know when it's not worth it anymore. This other person is showing up as Son of Water. Like I said, it's the same energy of Knight of Cups. They don't know how to show emotion. They don't know how to truly feel. They don't allow themselves to. All they care about is themselves and their money. They only care about accountability when it affects them. And if it is their, own shit that they need to own up to, they're just not going to do it because they have too much pride, or they feel like their status means that they don't have to apologize, or they don't have to own up to anything. So that's not your fault. And there's nothing you can do about that when there's someone like that. You just got to move forward. Remember, water is also about healing. It's about refreshing. Okay, so sometimes a refresher or healing means that you get rid of people who don't deserve you. And I feel like this is a situation where you feel bad that it didn't go the way that you wanted it to, but you also see how much you've grown, because in the past you may have reacted the same way as them. But now you see, okay, it's almost like you're like, God, forgive them because they know not what they do. It's one of those things, like they are still a child spiritually. So it's like you can't really help them because you've already moved past that. You can only lead by example. So it's really admirable to see you in this position, Sag, and I'm really, really proud of you. Let's go ahead and see what your oracle message is for this month. Sacral chakra. Sacral chakra. All right, so let's go ahead and read it. I feel like this is a chakra that you had been needing a lot of work on, but you actually have like mastered it throughout this month. All right. So the sacral chakra is about things that you want. So that's like the whole point of it, what you want, your desires. Known as the sacral chakra, the second chakra is located 2 fingers below your navel and relates to emotions, desires, creativity, and sexuality. To keep this chakra balanced and its energy flowing, try dancing, moving your hips and lower abdomen. Use a color meditation and practice yoga. Express your sexuality and nurture yourself. And remember, you do matter. So in this particular situation, I think it has more to do with what you are acknowledging that you deserve. And if you are around someone who is not acknowledging that for you or helping you feel balanced in that way, then it's not for you. If they make you feel bad for trying to, move forward or get to a better place, they're not for you. And it's only going to create, blockages for you and anger. So just, be aware of that and move accordingly. Like when someone shows you their true colors, you have to believe them, and you have to go around people who actually want, similar things as you, so that you guys are not always at odds. So that's the end of this message. I really hope that it helps you. It looks like you've done a lot of work, on your own, and you've come a long way. So congratulations, Sag. I'm super proud of you, and I'll see you in the next video.